My print-on-demand store on Etsy has given me time, work, and location freedom, but it for sure did not start out that way. So in today's video, I'll go over the 3 essential steps to start an Etsy shop on a budget. We'll go over the most important things, which is research, design, and the offer itself. If you're new here, my name is Andreas. I've done over $1 million in revenue in less than 3 years as an Etsy print-on-demand seller from Sweden. In that same time frame, I've also done about $240,000 in revenue on Amazon Merch on Demand as a side gig from Etsy. So the very first thing to start an Etsy shop on a budget is to just start. It costs about $15 to start an Etsy shop these days, but just pay that fee, get it going, and just get into the unknown. It's really scary in the beginning because there are so many things that you don't know about that it feels like it's such an overwhelm of things to do. I just want to let you know that if you just put one foot in front of the other, you will get better. So just start in the beginning. It's the most important part of the equation. There's so many people that just prolong just taking the first step, and if you just take the first step and just commit to it, you will make something out of it. Now, the second part and a bit more nuanced part to this is product and design research. So research in and of itself. Now, a great way to I like to simplify a lot of stuff for me. And a super simple way to actually get some data on what actually sells well, to see what products to actually sell on Etsy, is to use Printify Insights. Printify is the print-on-demand provider that I use for all my fulfillment of my orders. And in there, they have these insights where you can basically see which products are actually selling the best overall. These are stats from this specific day today, which I'm filming this on the 24th of November. These are up to date from basically today. And the best selling item overall now is sweatshirts, since we're in the heart of Q4. You can also see that t-shirts is really popular. T-shirts overall is one of the biggest selling products to sell in print-on-demand overall. You can also see hoodies here, wrapping papers too, because we're in Q4. But basically, apparel overall is a super popular thing to sell with print-on-demand. So apparel is a great way. It's just a great product to sell overall. Now, since we're on a budget, we can't use software like Everbee, for instance, and that I like to use for my research. But what we can always do is if we just take, like, for instance, the top performing product here, which is sweatshirts, and we just search for sweatshirt for women. Etsy is mainly a women's platform. There are like 80% women on this platform. So we just search for sweatshirt for women, which is a big keyword. We go to all filters. I live in Sweden, so I gotta make sure that this says delivery to the US, since the US is my target market. It has the most buyers there, so I would definitely recommend to just focus on the US. If you live abroad like me, then go to physical items, pick the star seller badge, then you go to the search bar, you swap out star for best. Doing this, we only see basically the best sellers for this given keyword. Now, I want to see here basically is what types of designs are actually selling on these sweatshirts. This one has like a college vibe font. This one is just some elements. The thing that we are looking for is to find common denominators within design, so we can write these up on a list. So we'll make a list that says best selling elements list. This one has a college font, college vibe. This one is cursive. This one too had like college vibe. So college, out of these on the first page has a college font, so we'll write up college font. College font overall has done super well this year, which is why it's been featured a lot on my channel. This one also has a cursive font. It's a cursive font. This one has a cursive font with some elements. And cursive. So cursive is also a super popular font to use. Also cursive. College. Also like a college vibe. College. Lots of college vibes. This one has a retro vibe, but also kind of like a retro grungy vibe, so we can also write up retro. Now we have some elements which we know are popularly being used in like best selling listings right now. We want to then combine these in new ways to create something new to the platform. So maybe like use like retro and a cursive font, or like a college and a cursive font, or a college and a retro font, for instance, and add those within the specific niches. But there's one more thing when it comes to research that's really important, and that's the offer itself. And there are 3 things that I would mainly recommend to use when it comes to the offer if we're on a budget. And that's to basically list our items at a break-even price. And it's also to use like great mockups, and it's also then to use a guarantee. So $15 is to start a shop here on Etsy. I would use the rest of the $5 to actually buy a mockup for the thumbnail. What we can see here, for instance, is that this one and this one has the exact same image, just with different designs on them from different shops. So that one is super popular because the thumbnail here is really important. This one also has it, so this one is super popular. So this one is the one that we want to basically, we can find the exact mockup they used on Etsy itself. So if we just search, this is the Gildan 18,000. I just know that from first-hand experience, but basically Gildan 18,000 mockup, and that was the sand color. And here it is, right here. I would just basically use that to buy it. It costs like $3, I think now. So I would buy that and use that as my main thumbnail for it. Now we have about like $2 left, I think. $15 to start, and then like $3 to buy the mockup. It costs about 2 cents, and like it costs about 20 cents to actually list an item on Etsy. For the rest of the basically money, I would buy one more mockup. So we go back to the here to see if we can find any other type of mockup that are super popular. So this one and this one is the same basically. This one too, and this one too. This one. Okay, so this is a Gildan 18,002 in forest green, I think. Let's see here. Maybe it was military green. Let's just for green instead. Yep, there it is. So we'll just buy that one, for instance, too. This one costs a bit more, maybe, so we're a bit out of budget. So we can maybe just do something very similar. And maybe do something like this one instead as our mockup, as it's really similar. But then we're still within the budget of like $20 to actually start our shop. And the important thing here to know is that we use this second mockup to display our guarantee within the listing, because basically people mainly scroll through the listing images and then they press purchase. So all of the really important info has to be in the listing images. So we would use this mockup and add some text. I don't have the specific mockup, but basically, let's see here. We would basically use a mockup like this. We would display our designs. This is another type of design, but you basically display your design like this. And this is like the third image in the listing itself. And this is where you display the guarantee. And then your guarantee can basically say something like, if anything happens or you're unhappy, any reason, you can contact us within 7 to 14 days of delivery to get a refund or replacement. What this does is that it offsets a lot of the risk from the customer and puts it back on us, the sellers. Now, this would definitely need some more design work to make it look better, of course, but this is would be like the general outline of it. And apart from that, if you have some more budget to actually spend, I would highly recommend to just do a Gildan, to just buy a Gildan 18,000 size chart. We're almost out of budget now, since it's quite tight. We could maybe buy something like this, but then we're a bit out of budget. You can also make it yourself with if we just go to Printify here, we can see the Gildan 18,000, and down here you have all the measurements. So you can make it yourself. It's just a bit tedious to make it yourself. It just goes a lot faster to buy it from a shop. But if budget is the main constraint here, then you can definitely make it yourself for sure. You can use this exact mockup, which was supposed to be the thumbnail, and use this as a size chart as well. And just instead of having guarantee, for instance, you can just do it like this, say size chart, and then basically list all of the sizes and all of these measurements right underneath here. So that's how you would display the size chart, because in the listing you would need 3 images just to start. You would basically need the main thumbnail, which we went through, which is basically, since we looked at a lot of ones, it's this specific thumbnail. So the Gildan 18,000 in sand, this one, this is the main thumbnail. Then we need a guarantee in our listing, which would be basically, you would basically use either the same thumbnail or get another thumbnail. I'd recommend getting another one. And we looked at getting like this one, for instance, or maybe even this one if we want to feel like we want to spend a bit more budget. And we displayed kind of like this with the guarantee here down on the bottom. We can also have it on the side or on the top. But basically, you display the guarantee within the listing images. And the third image that you need is the size chart. If money is the constraint, you can definitely like make it yourself by just going to Printify, using all of these measurements here. And then just instead of displaying, like for instance here, guarantee, you can make it say size chart instead. And then you can manually just enter the specific, like the specific measurements for each size right underneath here. Then you can use the same mockup as the thumbnail, but for the size chart instead. And the last part of the equation too is that when you list it on Etsy, I would highly recommend it to list it at a break-even price, which is at about a $2 to $4 gross margin, so that when you actually get the sale on Etsy, you earn about $2 to $4. Because what I've found in my POD journey is that generally the lower price you have, the more volume you do. But the bigger price you have, the less volume you do, but the more profit you make. So in the beginning, it's more important to get some social proof up for your stores so that it looks legit. So I would recommend to just list it at a break-even price, just to start. But anyhow, all of this really just depends and just stand on the design itself. It has to be something that they actually want. So if you want to start an Etsy store on a budget, I would highly recommend to watch this video right here, as it goes through the nitty-gritty of design. Design is the main variable to actually get sales on Etsy, so it's the most important part to focus on. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.